Welcome to Finance Deep Dive. Today we're diving headfirst into a really high-stakes standoff, one that's happening right at the heart of the U.S. economy.
We're talking about one person, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. And believe me, the answer to this question, it affects all of us. I mean, from the big players on Wall Street right down to anyone with a car loan or a mortgage.
Okay, so what's really going on here? At its core, you've got this clash of titans. Two incredibly powerful forces pulling the economy in completely different directions.
So on one side, you've got the White House, and they are pushing, and I mean pushing, for fast interest rate cuts. Their goal? Juice the economy right now. Make things look and feel good in the short term.
But then you have the Federal Reserve, and their job, their whole mandate, is about long-term stability. And sometimes that means making the tough calls, the unpopular decisions, to make sure the economy stays healthy for the long haul. Here's a great way to think about it. The Fed is like the economy's doctor. The White House might be screaming for a quick fix, like a shot of adrenaline or a sugary energy drink, but the doctor's looking at the charts, thinking about the patient's overall health for years to come.
And that's where this idea of Fed independence comes in. It's this critical ability for the doctor to prescribe the right medicine without anyone telling them what to do. And let me tell you, it's absolutely crucial for a stable, healthy economy.
Okay, so you might be thinking, what's the big deal? Why can't politicians have a say? Well, the risks are massive, and we're not talking about some abstract economic theory. This can hit you right where it hurts, in your wallet. Think about it. Higher borrowing costs on your mortgage, on your car loan. We're talking about global markets losing confidence in the U.S. economy, and maybe even a credit downgrade for the entire country. Yeah, it's that serious. And look, this isn't just some what-if scenario. The pressure is on, and it's ramping up right now. Let's actually walk through how this has been playing out. It really started out kind of subtle, just little mentions about Powell's term ending. But as you can see, it escalated, and fast. We went from hints to a credit downgrade and then to direct personal attacks on Fed officials. And make no mistake, this isn't just random noise. It's a calculated pressure campaign coming from multiple directions, all designed to weaken the institution itself. By the way, if you are liking the content, don't forget to subscribe. It motivates us to keep posting.
And all this pressure seems to have led to something. At the recent Jackson Hole Summit, a huge event in the finance world, Chair Powell actually signaled a possible rate cut. He cited risks to the labor market, and boy, did the markets love it. They rallied almost instantly.
So, that brings us to the million-dollar question. Where does this all go from here? Well, analysts see three main ways this whole situation could play out. In the best-case scenario, the Fed manages to make some careful, cautious cuts, and the markets stay calm. But the worst case? We're talking about a full-blown institutional crisis, maybe even a legal battle that could send global markets into a complete tailspin. So a big question pops up here. Can't the president just, fire the Fed chair? If they disagree this much, why not just get rid of him? Well, it's not nearly that simple.
See, the law is written very specifically to prevent exactly this. Fed governors can only be removed for cause, and that means things like actual misconduct. Just disagreeing about interest rates? Nope, that doesn't count. And that legal wall is a really important protection.
Okay, so as this whole drama continues to unfold, there are a few key things you yourself can keep an eye on to see where things are headed.
First, listen to what the Fed itself is saying in its official statements. Second, pay attention to the rhetoric coming out of the White House. Third, watch the bond market. Treasury yields will tell you a lot. And finally, see what the big credit rating agencies are saying. Those are your signals.
When you boil it all down, Jerome Powell is facing one of the biggest tests of his career and maybe one of the biggest tests for the Fed in decades. And this isn't just an American story. Believe me, the entire world is watching. The big question is, will this crucial institution bend or will it break? The answer is going to shape the credibility of the U.S. economy for years, maybe even decades to come. If you are liking the content, don't forget to subscribe. It motivates us to keep posting.